All right, wonderful people. Welcome back to this wonderful channel where I'll bring you back-to-back update and information as to the what. In case you have not joined our social media and what are you waiting for, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share. And also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first one to collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as to the what. Police opposes IPOB's day lockdown. Let's go down to that information. Remember that the members of the indigenous people of Biafra has, set out May 30th of every year to celebrate the fallen heroes of the Biafra war that took place between 1967 to 1970 that took a lot of the lives of Biafrans. Some died through war and some lost their life through Kwashiorkor. Because during that season, there were barricades that barred importation of food services into the Biafraland, of which you know that is not how war was supposed to be fought. Even though the international community was supposed to look into some of these things, even recently, Gowon has made a lot of confessions as regards that Biafra war, but Ndibo has not been apologized to. There has not been any compensation and all that. Now, these people call Ndibo the Biafrans have decided to, set out May 30th for their brothers, for their fathers, for their sisters, for their children that lost their life between that 1967 to 1970 Biafra civil war. But as it is, you can see that things are becoming difficult. As it is, police has stood up to oppose that particular day sit at home. Let's go down to that information. The Anambra State Police Command has said that it would protect residents going about their normal businesses without any fear of humiliation on May 30th, 2025, a day the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has declared a sit at home. IPOB had declared that day a public holiday and sit at home across the southeast in honor of Biafran heroines who died during the 1967 to 1970 Civil War. The pro-Biafra group said all forms of movement by road, air, and sea would be banned from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on that day, warning that no human activities would be allowed within what is described as Biafra territory. But in a swift reaction, the spokesman for the State Police Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, promised residents that the police would protect those going about their normal businesses. We are not aware of the lockdown. We are not aware of the lockdown, but the residents are assured of adequate security and are encouraged to go about their lawful businesses without entertaining any fear. The police will not force people to come out from their homes, but we will provide adequate security for anyone who comes out to carry out his lawful activity on the said day, Ikenga said. In a statement issued on Monday, IPOB spokesperson Ima Powerful said the group will hold memorial lectures throughout the month in Nigeria and abroad to honor the fallen. He stated that all IPOB members abroad are expected to organize demonstration and obtain legal permit to protest the continued detention of IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. According to him, the May 30th observance will be marked by the complete shutdown of schools, markets, churches, mosques, and public gatherings, adding that the day is reserved for families to reflect on the events and losses of the 1967 to 1970 Biafra War. Powerful said the IPOB family and movement informed Biafran supporters of Biafra and freedom advocates that May 30th, 2025 is designed a public holiday and lockdown across the southeast in honor of Biafran heroes and heroines who made the ultimate sacrifice for our existence. The holiday is an annual Memorial Day anticipation began on May 1st with broadcasts from Radio Biafra and increased media awareness. IPOB will hold memorial lectures at home and abroad leading up to Biafra Memorial Day on May 30th. Biafrans living in Biafraland must observe a total lockdown to pay tribute to those who died during the Civil War while fighting for Biafran independence. We urge all Biafrans and supporters of freedom to comply with this directive. There will be no school, no community meeting, no religious service, no market, no public event. Families are encouraged to stay indoors, reflect on the genocide committed against Biafrans from 1967 to 1970, and consider the ongoing marginalization of Ndigbo in Nigeria. Powerful also said that IPOB had notified the West African Examination Council to adjust the May-June senior secondary school examination school schedule in Southeast to accommodate the sit-at-home order. Messages have also been sent to state governors in the Southeast and South-South regions, informing them of the group's intention to enforce the sit-at-home in honor of its heroes. He added that Biafrans in diaspora should hold town hall meetings or public demonstrations to show solidarity and demand the restoration of Biafra. IPOB and Ndigbo globally will pay tribute to fallen heroes. We pay tribute to fallen heroes, including our eternal leader, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, General Philip Effion, Dr. Frank Opigo, Commander Ikonso, and many others who stood against the genocide and destruction of our people by Nigerian and British forces and their allies, the statement said. According to Powerful, only emergency and essential service providers such as ambulance operators, doctors, nurses, firefighters, journalists, and members of NUPEN will be exempted from the restriction. We advise everyone to remain indoors on May 30th to avoid confrontation or stray bullets from security operatives. All transporters must stay off the road, he warned. All right, this is coming from Mazi Emma Powerful, the spokesperson of the indigenous people of Biafra, concerning the upcoming sit-at-home that will be held in Igbo land, in all over Biafra, in a bid to remember the fallen heroes who lost their life during the 1967 to 1970 Biafra Civil War. All right, let's look at what Ohaneze Ndigbo is saying. According to Ohaneze Ndigbo renames Biafra Remembrance Day. Let's go back to that information. The Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, has declared that May 30th, previously commemorated as Biafra Remembrance Day, shall henceforth be observed as Igbo Heroes Day. According to the Igbo Social Cultural Organization, the remaining embodies Igbo's commitment to honoring the indelible legacy of those brave men and women who laid down their lives during the Biafra conflict for the sake of their people's dignity and future. Ohaneze Ndigbo made this known in a statement signed by its Deputy President Mazi Okechukwu Isiguzoro on Thursday, while advocating that the celebration of Igbo Heroes Day be voluntary in nature. Isiguzoro also urged that there be no imposition of a sit-at-home directive during this period, as it could unwarrantedly affect the education and livelihoods of their children writing WAEC in the region. Ohaneze also appealed to all Biafra agitators to act with prudence and refrain from activities that may inadvertently play into the hands of adversaries. According to Isiguzoro, historical evidence has demonstrated that previous May 30th observance marked by violence and unrest have intentionally misinterpreted the aspiration of Igbo people, branding them as aggressors rather than honoring their legacy of resilience and peace. Renaming Biafra Remembrance Day to Igbo Heroes Day is not merely a symbolic gesture, it is a proactive measure designed to facilitate a safer environment for all, he said. The statement read, in a historical reaffirmation of our collective identity and in honor of the sacrifice made by our forebearers, the Apex Igbo Sociocultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, unequivocally declared that May 30th, previous commemorated as Biafra Remembrance Day, shall henceforth be observed as Igbo Heroes Day. While we embrace this significant occasion, the commemorates our heroes, it is imperative that we exercise circumspection and responsibility concerning the current academic commitment facing our youth. The ongoing West African Examination Council assessment, which spanned from April 28 to June 20th, necessitates a consensuous approach. Therefore, Ohanes and Igbo advocate that the celebration of Igbo Heroes Day be voluntary in nature, providing every member of our community, especially students, the freedom to engage in academic pursuit without hindrances. We recognize and assert the legitimate rights of the Igbo people to celebrate our national heroes. Indeed, it's our moral duty to remember their sacrifice. However, this change allows us to address any suspicious scrutiny from the federal government while simultaneously engaging Southeast political leaders from one place to the other. We now have the Biafra Republic government in exile. We now have the indigenous people of Biafra, and we also have the USB, the United States of Biafra. And these factions are being run by different set of people. Everybody was under the IPOB before the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria, which brought about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's second in command, Simon Ekpa, who created the Biafra Republic government in exile, of which other nations that seceded from their main nation had undergone. There are a lot of nations like that, which we have the examples of them, which were under Republic government in exile before they had their independence. And when Mazi Simon Ekpa saw such example and saw how it yielded results, he decided to follow suit on that particular example, of which around last year, November last year, they were gearing up to declare the independence of Biafra, of which after that they would enter into the United States of Biafra. And after that, before that convention that was supposed to, usher in the United States of Biafra, Simon Ekpa was arrested also in Finland, of which he is still in detention in Finland. If you check it from that November till date, it is up to 7 months that Ekpa was arrested in Finland, of which the Finland government said that he's undergoing interrogation, of which that interrogation we are yet to know, what the result of the interrogation as the case may be. Now, after that, through the office of the ADPM, Ngozi Orabueze, who declared the United States of Biafra, and a lot of people, some people like Sonny Akparawa, Ogenkere, and Van Van Vam has kicked against that particular USB, still letting the people know that they are still under the United, who kicked against that particular faction, and Akparawa and the rest of them maintain that they are supposed to still remain under the umbrella of the Biafra Republic government in exile, and they believe that should be the original whatever that should be followed according to them. But as it is now, the IPOB members, in their own wisdom, have also declared a sit at home, which they call 30-day sit at home. But before that, let me bring you this particular information and the grievances of the IPOB members. Just pay attention. IPOB activists are routinely targeted with swift and forceful action, CSO accuses security agencies. Civil society organizations, CSOs, across the southeast region of Nigeria have accused security agencies of operating with a bias alleging that while indigenous people of Biafra activists are routinely targeted with swift and forceful action, armed herdsmen responsible for violent attack on communities are ignored. In a joint statement, the CSOs. So you have that big lamentation coming up from the indigenous people of Biafra, and that's very true because you see these herdsmen, they do their operation and go scot-free. Nobody disturbs them. The government, I have not seen the government talk about these people, and somehow it seems as if the government of the day is so much afraid of talking about this particular set of people, or maybe they are gaining something from them. That's why a lot of people feel that this is a politically injected matter into the society. Because if not, why would the government not come up with a means of eradicating these herdsmen, a means of putting them to where they belong? All right, another accusation has been leveled on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is behind the NSAS killings. IPOB read a response in new video. A lot of people have accused Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of being behind the NSAS protest. And if actually, okay, let's agree that Kanu is behind the NSAS process. Remember that the NSAS was all over Nigeria. Everybody protested in Nigeria, both in Abuja, both in Lagos State, both in okay, let me use the south geopolitical zone, the southeast geopolitical zone, the southwest geopolitical zone, the north geopolitical zone. Everybody there, the protests went all over the 36 states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. And you know, Nigerians and their law system are shooting themselves on the leg. And they are also letting people to know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has that power, that willpower. He exercises that authority over the whole Nigeria. And if that is so, Kanu should be the president of Nigeria because he has that power to influence every single citizen in Nigeria. The protest was not just done by the youth, it was done by both Dick, Tom, and Harry, as far as Nigeria is concerned. And these people are saying that Kanu was actually the one that influenced the NSAS protest. What was the NSAS protest about? It was about justice, fairness, ending police brutality. And that particular protest was what brought about the end SARS. Actually, the name, that acronym, SARS, was actually ended. Even though they are operating now in a new uniform called SWAT and Operation this and Operation that. But that particular acronym, SARS, was actually ended. And that is to show you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exercised a bigger authority. No president, as far as Nigeria is concerned, has been able to exercise such authority. No president, as far as this nation is concerned, has been able to exercise the kind of authority that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exercised. And you should know that these politicians are shooting themselves on the leg. They are just, letting us to know that tinubu does not have any power. That even Buhari, I think the NSAS protest was during the time of Buhari, that Buhari does not even have any power, that the power resides with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that is why when we are calling him Hamadike one of Ndigbo, and whatever name that is allocated to him, he merits it. Alright, as the B, let's still go back to the information. In Ebonyi State, ex-warlords in Ebonyi State embraces peace. Move through monitoring the repentant warlords during their graduation. Former fighters surrender arms, get amnesty training, empowerment from government in Abakaliki. They were recently granted amnesty by Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifulu following a crisis between their community in Ebonyi and a neighboring community in Cross River State. The 51 repentant fighters who were tagged vigilantes by the state government and security agencies, which granted them the amnesty as well as trained and empowered them with 2 million each, were arrested, prosecuted, and detained in prison for years during the escalation of the crisis between the Egbo people of Biasi local government area of Cross River State and a Ekoli Eda community in Eda local government area of Ebonyi State. But the repentant warriors said after risking their lives for the community, they are being rewarded with threats, petitions, allegations, and all forms of intimidation by some members of the community, especially those that sabotaged their efforts when they were defending the community. There was tension in the community recently at a Thanksgiving program organized by the former fighters when suspected political thugs stormed the Egbebu playground venue of the event to disperse those that had come for the program. Suspected political thugs dismantled canopies mounted for the program. They also threw away plastic chairs and spoiled decoration of the event. All right, my point is on the 2 million each that we are giving to these people. It should come to your notice that the government of Nigeria has not one day, or any state government has not one day appreciated academic excellence or appreciated citizens who are making sure that the country is in peace. But over time and time without number, the government has so much appreciated insecurity, appreciated those who are in the issue of terrorism. The federal government have done it time without number by declaring amnesty for the BH boys, reinfusing them into the community, and some of them were even assimilated into the army and other security forces, and so we are giving money to start life afresh. Does it mean that what pays now is insecurity? Alright, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first to collect it. Thank you for listening. God bless you.